Welcome to Get Started in Lightroom 2. Now in this second part we're going to take a deeper look at the library module. Now we had a little look at this in the previous part, but I'm just going to show you a couple more features that I like. Okay, here we've got a series of shots taken at Ely Cathedral in the mist. I did that just the other day. I thought I'd try and make the most of it, seeing as I have my camera with me. I've got a couple of things here, so we'll work our way through these in a second. Now, what we're looking at here is called grid view. Now you can change the size of the thumbnails just by dragging this one here, so you can fit more or less on the screen, depending on what you like. And we can actually go through these pictures one at a time, as we saw before, and just click the numbers on the keyboard to give it a star rating. But let's say that we don't know which one that we like the most, and just giving it an arbitrary star rating isn't really going to help us at this point. Well, let's take a few images. Let's just take this series of 6 shots here that are quite similar. I'm just going to click on that one, hold down Shift and click on the last one. Right, we've got a series of shots here and we want to find the best one. We only want one for our portfolio, so let's just see what we can do about that. Coming down to here, we've got this XY icon called Compare View. So if I click on that, the view will change, and here you go, we've got 2 shots next to each other. So what we do is we look at these two and decide which one we like the most. I think this one's looking a bit better. I don't like the way the branch comes over here. And then what we do with the one we don't like, just click the cross and close it down. And then what it does is it moves the other shot, that's our favourite one of the two, and moves it across here. Now this is our select and this is our candidate. This is kind of fighting now for pole position. I think I prefer this one, so I'm just going to close that one down. And as you notice, each time I close one of these down, you'll notice we're losing ones off the selection here. So let's just say I don't like that anymore, prefer this one. Okay, I think I prefer the one without the grass. It's a bit more abstract, and yeah, let's go for that straight one. And now you'll see we've just closed down all 5 of those images, comparing them side by side as we're going through, and we're left with one selection here. And this is our favourite shot of this particular shoot. So I'm just going to hit 5 on the keyboard now, just to set the rating of that shot, so we can find it again in the future. Now what you can do, if I just hold on Shift and just select 2 of these again, we can actually zoom in just to check the sharpness. Say you've got 2 shots and you're not sure which one's sharp, you can actually click and zoom in and move around. Now this one's actually focused on the background, whereas this is focused on the branches. So you can actually just pan around and compare the two side by side as you're going through, just to find out which one you prefer the most. Okay, so let's see what else we've got. It's going to go back to grid view, and I'm going to do the same again. I'm going to let's select a few different shots this time. Let's make it interesting. Okay. Let's go for some of these walled ones here. Okay, next one, survey view. I'm just going to click on that. Now this is much the same as before, but this time we get to see all of the shots all at once, rather than having to go through them one at a time. So it's a little bit quicker, and we can work with quite a few more images if we wanted to as well. If I just pan along here, hold down Shift and click even further down this list. Here we go, we've got tons of pictures now. And what we can do is just go through and click the cross for all the shots that we don't like. That's a bit underexposed. I don't like composition of that one. I don't like the sky in that one. This one's overexposed. And just work our way through very, very quickly to whittle down the selection to the shots that we like the most. Okay, let's just say, for sake of argument, those are our 3 favourite shots. And then, as you see down here, we've got those shots selected, and then we can either rate them 1 to 5 to give it a star rating so we can find them again, or you can use the keys 6 to 9 on the keyboard and actually give it a colour rating as well. Now this will help us when we're filtering later on to come back and find a particular set of images. Perhaps if you're working for a client, red could be your favourite shots, and then green could be your client's favourite shots. There's tons of uses for it, but I'm just going to hit 8 now because I don't want that. I'm just going to get rid of that label, and now I'm just going to give that a 3-star. No. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the grid view, and let's have a look what else is on offer. Okay, as I said, all of these shots were taken at Ely. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold down Control on the keyboard and hit A, and that's going to select all of my shots in this selection. And what I'm going to do now is keyword these. Now what that will allow me to do is later on, at a later date, I can actually search for my Ely pictures. So all I've got to do is come down here to the keywording section, click here to add keywords. I'm just going to type in Ely, hit enter on the keyboard, and then wait a second. Now all of these shots that have been selected have been tagged with this Ely tag. Now when I come to search for it, which we're going to do next, it'll bring up all these pictures. So how do you do a search? Well, it's quite simple really. In grid view, come up to view and then show filter bar, and then that will just come up here just above your thumbnails. So let's say we want to do a search on text. We just go in here, click on text. So you can type in Ely into the search criteria and it'll find all our Ely images. Obviously we've just tagged these, but it has actually gone through and found them out again. So what else have we got? Right, we've got a tribute. Let's click on this one. And we don't need to search for text anymore, so I'm just going to get rid of that one. Now here we can search for our different colours. So we could click on green, the surface all our green images, click on red, surface all our red images, and so on. That's quite easy to do. We've also got rating, and here we got rating is greater than or equal to the number of stars we click on. So if I click on that, we can filter out all the different number of starred images. If I take it right up to 5, we've got that one 5-star image that we found in compare view. I'm just going to bring that one back. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of attribute. And another cool one is metadata. Now this actually allows us to search by the lens that was used and by the camera that was used and all sorts of other stuff. You can just come up here, click on 10D, click on the 10 to 20mm. Obviously all of these are shot with the same camera and the same lens. So let me just click here on all photographs, and then if we now click on metadata, we can see we've got all these different cameras, all these different lenses. We can even select different stuff here. If I click on here, we can do flash state, look, shutter speed, ISO speed, all of these different things just to surface a particular image that maybe you're looking for. Maybe you remember you took it at ISO 400, maybe you want a wide angle shot to illustrate something. Whatever, you can search for it in this way. It's pretty cool. Okay, let's go back to our Ely shots and let's just get rid of our searches. Okay then, one final thing just to round off this section, and that is found at the top here, and it's the quick develop menu. Now this is quite nice. If you want to do some advanced manipulation, then this isn't for you. You want to use the develop module, which we'll be getting onto in the next part. But this is just to see if perhaps an image that doesn't look great in colour would look better in black and white, or a quick correction that might improve your shot and change how you perceive it. So if we click on this one here, I'm going to click on the loop view, and then now what I'm going to do is just come up to these save presets. These are probably the best things to use for this bit, and come down and try out some of these things. You've got a cold tone, that's pretty cool. We've got aged photo, strong contrast, all these different things you can just quickly try and just to see if it's going to work, and that looks pretty good in black and white, actually, I have to say. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, but remember to join me next month. We'll be looking at the develop module and some of the cool things we can do to enhance our images. For more about the library, make sure you check out the January issue for more tips and tricks in the library. See you soon.